Folks. I had gotten a message on my YouTube from someone who was like, you haven't uploaded anything since October 23, and just wondering if you were gonna put something new up, and so I realized, like, I have been really busy since I went back to work, because the first day of work I had since the whole thing with my friend happened was like October 21st. So I can imagine, like, I just haven't had as much time to really invest my emotion and my time to things, simply because, again, I'm back to work, and that just changes my schedule a lot. So I just didn't know, what have I been missing. I know I've missed some stuff. I know Nicola did something there. I've seen pictures of her, like, in a like, it was at Bazaar, like a Harper's Bazaar maybe. So I feel like y'all are more in the know than I am. So Con said, "Missed your lives." Thanks, Con. Like, I just been really busy, and also, frankly, I just didn't have anything fully to talk about. And so I was just like, but when I got that message on my YouTube, I was like, yeah, I should try to at least do something and put something up for folks. But, like, I also don't want to, like, waste anybody's time. So yeah. But one of the things I just wanted to know was if there were things that I had missed, that people have been talking about, just because my life has changed a lot, and it has been really busy since I've been back to work. Gretchen said, yes, Harper's Bazaar. Now I think it was on Lex's page, like the quote from maybe or not the quote, maybe the speech that I'm guessing that Nicola did for it. Hi, Tanya. And Con said, no, it's been quiet except Harper's Bazaar. Okay. Yeah, so Con said yes. Okay. Yeah. So what I discovered and realized was, I was reading that speech that she gave, which was a really great speech, just around, like, I think the portion that I read was about Spice Girls. Hi, Omara. But she was talking about, like, all the inappropriate questions she would get about her appearance. And then she also said, and my relationship. And I was just like, I just didn't know what that meant at that time. Because I honestly think that, like, that's the thing. I don't know if anybody I don't know. So I was like, was that a direct quote from the speech when she's talked about, like, she got a lot of inappropriate questions around her physical appearance? I remember that. I remember that one situation. And then she said, and my relationship. And I didn't know what that meant. Like, that's why I was like, is that a direct quote? Lynn29 said, hi. Gretchen said, yes. Alex Few Kenna 4D said, I think she was commenting on all the speculation, but didn't want to directly say that about the fan. Okay, what question was it? I mean, was she talking about during the world tour she was being asked, or was this a different? I guess the reason I'm just asking for clarification, one, because I have not kept up to date, was only because that statement, my relationship, like, what relationship is she talking about? Like, work relationship? Romantic relationship? Any relationship? Because I feel like most people didn't actually push it when they were asked things during the world tour. I think people were playful. Even the journalists tended to be playful with the way they asked. So I just didn't know if there was an actual question she was asked, like, directly, because I've never seen a direct question ever given to her. But maybe I'm wrong. 4KNK said, yes, she said it in her speech. Alex Few Cat. Oh, yeah, you said fans. Okay. Hello, Robin. Con said, not sure about that meaning. Oh, so she was talking about the world tour and that? Okay. Hello, Sarah. Gretchen says, I'm not sure. Robin says, on Google. The speech is on Google. Con said, who the heck knows anymore? Aluxfewcana 40 said she said relationships. I don't know why everyone heard it as singular. Oh, okay. So there was it. Okay, I still don't know what that means. Even if it's plural, I still don't know what that meant. So she was talking about, I guess the only reason that I didn't know what she was talking about is because, I mean, I guess maybe it just might not have ended up on like the screen, or maybe it's the incessant asking about, I don't know. It's just the terminology in my relationships. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess I got confused with the way that quote read. Because I'm like, is that correct? Abby said, I was also confused about that. Hi, Karen. Hi, Karen. Hi, Karen. I put like your Karen and Karen T put together. Aluxfewcana 4D said, I don't either. Con said the pap pictures probably. Oh, maybe it was like, maybe she got it. Okay, maybe that's what you were saying. I'm not you, Con, but someone else was saying earlier that maybe it was fans that had asked inappropriate questions. It wasn't like journalists, but maybe like on the street or something. Because I got Ashley said I heard relationship, so with no plural. Gretchen said the whole speech is on the line as a video. Okay, I better check it out because I haven't had a chance to. Shelly said, missed you. I thought of you this week. Oh, thanks, Shelly. Yeah, I've just really been busy, and also, like, it really just comes down to not wanting to waste people's time with, like, trying to, like, have conversations if there's nothing to talk about, you know? But I did want to at least, but I also miss y'all's, and so I do like to do lives because I want to touch base with everybody. But yeah, if there's nothing to talk about, it's like, Karen T said she did talk about the world tour. She said about all the inappropriate questions she got asked. Aluxfewcana 40 said, my theory is she was commenting on all the speculation and used the world tour questions to not insult her fans. Okay. Thanks, Robin, for the gifts. Karen T said, on your, and then you might have been correcting something earlier that I didn't. Robin said she looked herself up on Google. Oh, okay. Hi, Abby. Shelly said, yeah, I didn't understand that went on a world tour comment. Yeah, I guess maybe it's like either it never made it to print, it never made it to video, because every interview I saw, they kind of kept sidestepping directly asking, except like, and if they did directly ask, they were super playful about it, where it seemed like they were joking about even asking them. They never, I very rarely saw anybody ask them as if it was a legitimate question. They would just always be like, oh, the fans think this, you know, to kind of cushion like asking. Hi, Karina03. Con said, who knows? Shelly said, yeah, that's what I thought too. People on the tour. Lynn29 said, I miss seeing Nick and Luke together. Hopefully, oh my word, hopefully we get to see them soon. Oh, by the way, is this real? Because I saw something come up and I'm like, is this real or is this fake? But is there really going to be a Queen Charlotte part 2? Or like season 2? Because if there is, I'm like super excited about that. Is that real? Or did I just see something that's a fan like put together, hoping there'd be a season 2? Did anybody hear if there's a season 2 for Queen Charlotte? Con said, did you watch Body Language Expert? Which one, Con? I mean, are you talking about the one that was done with, was it a woman, a body language expert? Because if so, I saw like little pieces of it, not a whole lot. Though I know that I heard that they put up the video on YouTube for folks that couldn't watch it in real time. 4K NK said Nick didn't say who asked her. She just said she had a lot of inappropriate questions on World Tour. Yeah, I definitely know. There's one that comes to mind immediately. That was the most inappropriate question, but I loved how she handled it. But I can only imagine what she may have faced, like whether or not it made it to print or made it to video or whatnot, you know. But that one definitely made it to video, the one I'm thinking of. Con that analyzed NNL. Yeah, I mean, because there's two that I'm thinking of. Con, obviously, the first one with that guy on YouTube, but the other one was, the person was invited, to be on a TikTok live, and I don't know if that's the one you're talking about. Karen T said that was about her speech that she was saying on the Bridgerton tour. She got a lot inappropriate. Okay, so it was during the Bridgerton tour. Okay, that statement is going to kind of bug me a little bit. 4KNK, she was done with fans talking about her relationships, weight, or age instead of accomplishments. But she used that as the Bridgerton tour? Like, I can understand that after the fact, but during the tour is what confuses me. Because during the tour, this energy was not there. I can understand the energy being there after the tour and after all her accomplishments and people still focusing on the relationship stuff. But but during the tour is what's throwing me off. The timing of like saying it was happening during the tour, I can understand all of this after the tour. But during the tour, they were they made it seem like no big deal. Now, if she's saying it was a big deal even during that time, okay. But she didn't give she didn't give that impression during that time. And so that's why I think I'm like being thrown off a little bit. That's why I got to watch this clip, like watch the actual speech. And to be honest, like I don't want to get hung up on it either, because that brings up the fact that it's overshadowing something. It's just, which I don't want to do either. It's just, I need to actually watch it. It's just, I just read I just read what it said, and that thing leapt out to me because it confused me too much. Like, and the only reason I get caught up in my brain about it is not the relationship part, even though it is the relationship part in the statement, but it's the things that's not making sense in my brain, timing wise and all this stuff. It's like, what do you mean? I can understand this after the fact. I can understand so I think it's just my brain trying to catch up, and I just need to hear the speech for what it is and then be like, oh, okay, that's what she meant. And I think sometimes when you just read something instead of hear the person or hear the full context, you add like your own inflections or your own perceptions of something, and I'm probably way off. It's just, it read odd to me. Constant Janine Driver, I don't know what that means. 4KNK said, I don't hear about Queen Charlotte. Okay, then maybe it is just made up. Jen said, weren't they gonna drop a silky sneak peek today? I don't know. What's a silky sneak peek? Okay, if that's a typo, anybody who knows me knows I am like the worst person in understanding typos. Like, I try to guess what those, like, what it means, and then I'm always wrong. 406 Wildflower said, in Ireland, someone asked her about her body. Yes, that one definitely. That's the one I knew for sure was highly inappropriate, and she handled it very well with her response. That's the only one I can think of, but and that's why I'm saying maybe the other ones that she's talking about just never made it to print or video or anything. You know. Con said, I hope there is a second season of Queen Charlotte. Me too. 4KNK said, in general, thank you, K-Girl, for the daily heart me. Karen T said, I'll tag you in the written speech. I probably need to watch the actual speech, because if I just read it, I'm gonna read it with my own inflection, and that's just gonna throw me off a little bit. Hi Tam. Heather says, I think she's just tired of people talking about her personal life, period. I mean, I hear that. I mean, I think it's one of those things where when you are accomplishing so much and people only see your worth connected to somebody else. I mean, and I feel that for Luke as well, right? Where I'm sure he doesn't want to always be like connected to somebody to have the worth or value to be talked about. I mean, it was kind of an interesting thing that I thought a lot about were people fans of Nicola and Luke, or Nicola or Luke separately. Thank you, Heather, for the gift. Like, just didn't know if, like, obviously when the two of them are together, it generates the most buzz and the most attention. But I was like, did people actually care about their careers? Like, I thought people did, but it's like, so it's an interesting thing to wonder of, like, oh, if there's no relationship, thank you, K-Girl, for the gifts. If there's no relationship, does that mean people lose interest immediately? Thank you, Maddie Marie, for the gift. And Maddie, I don't know if you were in that space that one day in the live when I saw you come in, but I didn't know if you stayed at all. But I was like, congratulations on Nicola responding to you, because that was super cool. I would be freaking out if that ever happened to me, which, you know, I don't put out any content that would require, I mean, that would generate that. I feel like she's more responsive to like fun things like what your video was, or like edits or things like that. Mine are more commentary, so, and I'm not funny, so I feel like funny people also she would comment on, but yeah, so I don't know. I'm glad that people have shown continued interest in Nicola, because she deserves it, and it's been a whirlwind for her, and I think that is what it comes down to. I don't know, I got sidetracked in my head, Heather, but no, I think you're right. I think she is tired of people having her personal life overshadow her work, because she's worked too hard and too long to not have people focus on her work. Susanna said, can someone tag me in the written speech? Oh, 4K NK Silky tomorrow. Silky from Magic Faraway Tree. Thank you, Heather, for the clarification. See how out of it I am? Like, I didn't even know what her name was in the movies, the upcoming movie she's going to be in. Is that the name? Karen T said, yes, Silky's supposed to be tomorrow now after UK lunchtime. Yeah, I'm so out of it, y'alls. I've not had a chance to really look or spend time doing anything. It's just been work. And then if I'm not working, I'm tired. I've been sleeping early, but also waking up ridiculously early as well, and can't go back to sleep. Isa B said, I'm not sure she was referring to fans. I think more media. I mean, and it could be a catch-all. It could be anybody who's actually asking the question. DVal28 said, I was a fan of Nicola back in 2018, but I had no idea who Luke was until Bridgerton. I mean, I think that's common, right? Because, I mean, I think Nicola had an opportunity to have a bigger break earlier on. And that's why he was saying, like, he was learning from how she was handling things, because she had an opportunity to experience it in a smaller scale, but still, like, bigger than he had experienced at that time. CRM8291 said, I think you can enjoy both careers and also be curious. Of course, yes. I mean, two things can exist at the same time. Elichada said, hi, hope you're having a good evening. Thank you, Elichada. Tam said, a lot of people don't acknowledge the accomplishments they have done, only focus on relationships. Yeah, 4KNK said that's probably healthier not being up to date. Yeah, probably. Karen T said, did you hear about the audiobook she's doing? Oh, yes. Oh, that's another thing. I saw it on the shipper's posts. And then she did a cute little post about, I guess, the storyline of the audiobook. It's called Misdirected, I believe. So that's a cute, like, premise of a book. Did anybody check it out? Is it out already? Or were they just promoting it? Hi, Empress. Karen T said, did you hear what Misdirected is about? I mean, the most that I heard about it was from the shippers video, which was around something about someone falling in love with a co-star, I think. Dee Dee said February. Isabi said February 4 is out February 4th. Oh, okay. Maddie Marie said, I'm so excited for the audiobook. I like to listen to audiobooks before bed. Nice. Karen T said, 2 co-stars falling in love on set, and it comes out day before Luke's birthday. Oh my... After we just talked about not making everything about the relationship, but that is kind of funny. That is kind of funny, Karen T. I mean, though, she wouldn't have chosen when things would have been released anyway, but the irony is funny. 4K NK, new season of The Empress is almost out. What is The Empress? Aside from Empress, our Empress over here, but like, what is The Empress? Oh, they're so cute. My nieces just arrived. I can hear their voices. I don't know how much longer. Well, okay. But anyways. 4K NK said it's good. Karen T said, and the fact that she chose that book to read on Audible. Oh, did she get to choose what book she was gonna read? Like how did she get to choose? I don't know how people get to be chosen to read a book on Audible. Did they give the background around how that specific book was chosen to be the one she reads? Because that'd be, I mean, y'all, you're my source right now, because I've just not been keeping up to date. Karen T said, yes, she's done them before. Okay. Like audiobooks. Hey, Megan. Yeah, Karen T says similar to a movie or TV contract. Okay. But yeah, no, so what's happened since I've been gone? Harper's Bazaar, this misdirected audiobook. Is there anything else that's been happening? Or are we pretty much done? Is that it? How did she do? I mean, aside from me getting sidetracked by like that statement in her speech that I need to listen to myself before I get too confused in my brain. Did people like her speech? People watch her speech? Thoughts on that? Maria.m1967 said, I think we can enjoy the relationship and fully appreciate her work. One doesn't negate the other. I mean, I don't think it negates the other. Megan said, loved her speech. Felker 1 said, what statement? Karen03 said, it was amazing. Oh, Felker, it was just me getting confused about one of the she was just talking about inappropriate questions she received about her body, which I knew of one immediately, which was in Ireland, and she handled that question very well. So that's the one thing that I thought of. But then she said about her body, and she said, and the written version that I saw said my relationship, and so that confused me about like what relationship. But someone else said in the chat that it actually was plural, and it wasn't my relationship, it was my relationships. But either way, I was confused because I still didn't know what that was supposed to mean. And so I was trying not to get caught up in my brain about it, because again, we were talking about sometimes it can overshadow like the purpose of the speech itself, because that's not the purpose of the speech. It was part of the speech, but it was not the purpose of the speech. And so I didn't want to get too caught up in it, but it was just too confusing in my brain. And so I do agree with Maria that we can enjoy their relationship and fully appreciate their work. One doesn't negate the other. I think the friction or the rub that Nicola has expressed probably is just that she doesn't know if, like, it does tend to still, like, instead of, like, being about, like, her moment, people are like, oh, is she with him? Is he there? And then so that's when it just starts to overshadow. Whether people mean to or not, or, it might, I'm just guessing, though. I don't know. It's not like I know her. But that's what I'm guessing of how it might land. Karen T said, a great speech, so empowering. Oh, really? Okay, that's good to know. How long was the speech? Because when I go watch it, I mean, it's not super long, is it? Or what? Is it like 5 minutes? Less than 5 minutes? Isa B said, A has risen from somewhere and posted a story. What's new? I don't know. I mean, no, I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what's new. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good with, I mean, her pattern. It's, you know, she can do whatever she wants. I'm not interested. 4KNK said her speech was amazing, and now I feel like it's time to stop focusing on her relationships. Empress said, same Phoebe, I get my info from IG and some creators on here, the ones that strive for truth and facts. Yeah, I mean, I need to, I'm sorry I haven't been as great in keeping people like aware of things because I don't know. I mean, I mean, sometimes I've even, like, it's gotten so busy that sometimes I haven't even opened up my TikTok at all, like, just because I've just had other things on my mind. Megan said, I think she meant that she gets asked if she's with anyone. This question always overshadows her. Oh, okay. Okay. Then it probably was relationships instead of relationship. I have to hear it because somebody said, why do people keep saying that she said it singular? It was plural. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'll probably understand it better once I hear her say it. It probably will come off that way to me. Megan said amazing accomplishments. Anne said it also about the double standard. It doesn't happen to men much. Yeah, probably. Rena said hello. Hi, Rena. Felker said, got it. I loved her look. Her speech was great. She's really changing things in the acting world. So proud of her. Megan said, not long, a few minutes. Oh, okay, good. I can do that. Karen T and Karina also said not that long. Okay. Isa B said, I feel that's not how she wants to be known by her relationships, just like the rest of us. I hear that. I mean, yeah. It is a hard thing. It is a hard thing because, okay, so here's like what I'm thinking about, like the idea of overshadowing or being known for a relationship, right? When I think of Tom Daya, like, I think I love Tom Daya's relationship, right? And I think they're super cute. But I still think very much of Tom Holland's career, separate from that relationship. And I think very much of Zendaya's career outside of that relationship. Like their body of work, both Tom's and Zendaya's body of work never gets overshadowed in my head just because people talk about their relationship. I never feel like, I mean, personally, I never like go, oh my word, I'm forgetting that Zendaya is an amazing actress or that Tom's an amazing actor because I think that their relationship is cute. And I don't know if that's because they're more established. They've been like their relationship is long. I mean, like their careers have been more established. They've been established longer than Nicola and Luke. And that's maybe so like she's worked so hard for this moment. It's like hard, and plus it's also not a relationship, I guess too. So I don't know. I guess I feel the rub that Maria was talking about, like going, like, I think I could do both and it doesn't negate the other. And I do think that there is a way to do that. I think it happens with Tom Daya all the time because there's never a moment that I don't suddenly remember they're amazing actors and they're incredibly, like, successful, separate from each other, and they would know how to exist without each other. Still very cute. So, I mean, it is kind of a bummer that it's come to this place where it's like, where something that was like so benign and so cute now is always like so serious and like has to mean that it's overshadowing. Like, because I do think that both things can happen. I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's been happening well. um so I guess I'm feeling my own rub with that, because it's like, and maybe that's part of the reason why I haven't even been doing these lives as often, because one, I don't have anything to say, but every time, like, if there's even an honest moment about like a thought I have, it's always like, well, you know, would Nicola want us to discuss that? I mean, that's, I think that's what that's like the ripple effect of what happened with that whole post of like normalize not filming people in public, you know, is it did make people really analyze to a fault to some degree, like everything that we did, like of thinking like, oh, when is it crossing the line? When is it like just normal, regular, like cutesy stuff? And like, I don't know. It's kind of, it honestly, it was hard because it's like, I want to be respectful. And then, and other times it's like, what makes this particular action disrespectful? Is it disrespectful? Is it, you know, I don't know. I'm just being honest that like sometimes, like ever since that event happened, it's like walking on eggshells and like, and everybody like having opinions of like what is the right thing to do, and I just like, to me it's like I still just think they're so cute, and I don't feel like it has to overshadow their personal accomplishments to still talk about it. And I don't know. But if she's expressing that it's frustrating her, of course I have to care about that. But it's like, is that what she was saying? I gotta watch the video, but I don't know. It's so bummish because it's like, I don't know. I just want to do the right thing, but I don't know what the right thing is. Really, I don't know if it's like as simple as everybody's making it out to be, or as difficult as everybody is also making it out to be. Like, I feel like, why is it so, why are we making something that's like so, why is it really as complex as we're making it out to be? I don't know. It just gives me a headache a little bit. And I don't want to do anything that doesn't feel like it's fun anymore, because people are going to be like, "Oh, you can't think that they're cute together anymore, or you can't even talk about that anymore because somehow that detracts from rejoicing over her accomplishments." Like, is that really what it's come to? Like, we can't, like, I don't know. That just bums me out if that's what people are like, if that's the evaluation at this point. Because then I'm like, what can't, I'm like, I mean, I don't know. I'm just being honest. It's just, I feel a whole lot of conflict in my soul about like it all. Anyways, 4KNK said no TikTok. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, are you talking about when I barely look at my TikTok? Yeah. I mean, sometimes like when I wasn't working, because I was gone out of work during like my time with my friend, like I was on like leave of some sort, like to spend time with him. I always had time to look at my TikTok. And then when I started up with work, obviously, you know, you shouldn't be looking at your phone like 24/7. I mean, like not 24/7, but like constantly, especially if I'm working. So I just, if I'm like knee deep in what I'm doing, like I just forget to even look. Elechada said they are both incredibly talented. CRM8291 said, agree on that statement about them too. Big dot T.T69 said the relationship doesn't seem to affect their careers. I mean, like I didn't. I mean, are you talking about? Are you talking about is it Tom Daya or this or because I don't know where when you put that message in. Was that for Tom Daya or was that with Nicola? Roxy said, I think Nicola's having a difficult time adjusting to the increased fame. Yeah, and so that's the thing. And so it's kind of like, of course, I want to care about that. And I don't want to add to things, you know? I mean, on one hand, I'm like, it's easy to go like, how could I add to something that one, she doesn't know I exist, and my platform is not large by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, it's larger than my platform used to be when it was like 1K, but it's 6K and dwindling at times, right? Because as people are trying to figure out, like, oh, can we talk about this still? Can we still discuss this? Is this still a place? Like, people are, or if people want to get off the ship and all these different things, like, so like numbers go up and down all the time, right? Because people are trying to figure things out for themselves too, about what they want to do. And so, like, my platforms, so sometimes there's that thing in my brain where it's like, my platform's not even large. Like, when I was starting to do lives, like my original lives, those brought in hundreds of people, right? When I stopped saying I was going to talk, like when I put a hard stop on talking about like anything that had to do with adjacents, like that was like an immediate drop, like, because people wanted tea, people wanted gossip, people wanted, you know, all of that stuff. And if you don't give people that, then they're like, you know, no way, I'm out of here. At the same time though, it worked out because the majority of the time, in order for like my lives to really like feel very personable to me, it was like at most, ideally it should be 150, because after that, like, the speed of comments would get too fast sometimes, that I couldn't really like sit and be with people. And so but yeah, so I'm like saying that like this whole time has been ebbs and flows within this fandom, about like, so for me, I think part of the struggle for me too is like, what's staying true to myself? Like, because am I putting like things on my shoulders that I'm not even supposed to be feeling? Because when is it like really about Nicola, and when is it really about like how people perceive what they think Nicola is saying? That she might not be saying at all, or maybe she is saying and I don't even know. You know what I mean? It's like, it's all so much of it is so much perception. And that's why I said to folks, like, content creators make decisions based off of like wanting to make decisions that stays true to who they are. So it's like, well, what is true to me? What is the right thing for me? Because there's a part of me that's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with thinking that they're still cute and talking about that, and still being able to rejoice over their accomplishments and the things that they've done. I don't think they're in conflict with each other. But then I do hear people saying like, yes, it is. And so then it's like, okay, then is like, I don't want to be a jerk either to Nicola if she's feeling that way. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Karina03 said, I think talking about them with friends is not hurting them, stalking them is. Oh, 100% stalking would definitely be hurtful. I mean, harmful and dangerous, scary. Absolutely 100% scary. The idea that people even stalk them is really like scary. So hopefully people are not doing that. And I guess, I mean, like Newtonic had reminded folks, right? Like, don't engage with articles written about them, because when they know that there's such an interest in Nicola, like that gives them incentive to stalk her, to try to get her photo, to get a paparazzi photo on her and stuff like that. So the more like people stop engaging with certain like platforms that like encourage that, then hopefully that would die down, like that kind of stuff, you know? And to some degree, I'm really thankful that a lot of fans do care what Nicola feels. Because there are other people that might just never care. They're like, I don't care. You're a celebrity. I'm going to do whatever I want. You know? But I think the reason there's sometimes like this friction that ends up happening is because people do care about Nicola. People don't want Nicola to get harmed or hurt or be upset. And so I think anything that she says, people like try to take that into consideration in anything that we do. It's Tiffany. Why was I saying it like this? But anyways, you said most of it is normal, I think. I don't think we should analyze every photo she's in. 4K NK said, watch it and form your own opinion. Karen T said, why can't we do both? I mean, I think we can. But sometimes I feel like the rub is folks say we can't. I mean, I don't know if even folks are saying that, or maybe they're saying that Nicola doesn't want that. And I mean, I don't know. So I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know. Bev says we can do both. We are always respectful, just having fun with her and Luke. Empress says exactly 100 Phoebe, because honestly, it's the world tour that got them to the level of fame that they're at. Roxy said pull back with making Nicola content public if it's affecting her mentally. I mean, I don't know if I've ever, like, my content it's not, I mean, I have commentary, but there's nothing to comment on. Like, if there's something to comment on, it's like, I feel like I'm measured in my assessments of things. Oh, sorry. Hey, I'm doing a live right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But come in. Come in. Come in and say hi.
Hi.
Give me a hug real quick. Love you.
It smells like Vicks.
Like, oh, Vicks?
Yeah.
Vicks?
It smells like Vicks.
It smells like Vicks? How?
I don't
There's
know.
nothing here to...
I like it. It smells like Lola.
Oh. Great. She says I smell like my grandma.
Not grandma, Lola.
I know. My Lola. It's not your Lola, though.
No. My Lola. Like my dad's mom.
Oh.
She smells like Vicks.
She smells like Vicks. I don't know what it smells like Vicks in here.
Yeah.
I did get some cake pop popcorn.
I don't think that would be why it smells like Vicks.
I don't know what it smells like Vicks.
It's anything that's eucalyptus.
Well, I haven't turned this on for a while, but there's like
Maybe you're like nose blind to it now because you're used to the smell. I smell like Vicks. I like it.
Okay, I love you. That was odd. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things, Roxy, where it's like, you know, I feel like I've tried to be measured in anything that I've done, Nicola wise, and honestly, like, and then also there's a part of me that's always like, I really don't think she sees anything that I do. I mean, so like, if like the folks that she's more apt to see, like, you know, there's no inkling, there's nothing ever that has made me think that she ever looks at my stuff. You know what I mean? So a part of me is like, I feel like I'm safe because one, I do think that I am measured in my assessments or my thoughts, and I do think I do care, and I don't I don't think that there's anything that I feel awkward about necessarily in the things I've posted, or I don't know if I should. I don't know. I don't want to overanalyze. See, this is why it's like losing fun for me. Like overanalyzing in my brain. That's like when I know, I don't know. I just don't want to. I'm way overthinking right now, and it's bugging me. It's like it's the thing that makes me want to pull away. To be honest, it's because it's just. It shouldn't be that serious. Like, I'm like, why did it get so serious? Why did it get so serious? Because I'm like, what is affecting her mentally? Is it affecting her mentally? What is it? What is it? Because because I don't want to do whatever that is. But then I'm like, am I actually doing anything that's affecting her mentally? Or like, and like, and yet at the same time, I'm like, I don't think she's seen one video, one live, one anything of mine. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm like, my kind of content is not like eye-catching. It's like usually commentary. I'm just having a commentary about something. I mean, I'm not gifted in like doing edits or, I mean, I did do songs, but that's about it. I don't have anything eye-catching usually. Like, I mean, I think the reason folks do follow me or have like looked at my stuff is because folks like what I have to say. But I guess in my head I'm like, I just don't think Nicola, like, one, knows I exist, has ever seen my content, has ever been in my lives. So I'm like, why am I being all like pensive about something that I genuinely feel like she hasn't even seen or commented on? Like, why am I extending whatever she's going through or whatever she's saying as if it has anything to do with me? Or am I wrong for thinking it has nothing to do with me? Because I don't think it does. I just think all of the other stuff that's been maybe hard on her is just, I don't feel like I have engaged in any of those things. I don't know, but maybe, it's like, am I justifying something that I don't know about? I just don't feel like I've done anything. But at the same time, because of everything that's happened, I'm like over-analyzing stuff. I'm not putting out stuff anymore, and it's like, it's such a bummer. Well, I'm also not putting out stuff because there's nothing to talk about, but I don't know. Izzy B said we need to stop tagging them in posts. Oh, okay, that's something I've definitely never done. And I don't understand why people do it. Now, tagging. Is tagging different? Okay, wait a minute. Oh, wait, I do tag. Rena said, I think you are spiraling. Come back, baby. I am spiraling, Rena. And I don't like it because I'm usually not spiraling. I don't like spiraling because I feel like it's so nonsensical. Like, I just feel like it's so ridiculous to be too much in my headspace like that. But okay, so tagging. Is tagging? So tagging is not so that's not the adding. You're saying the tagging. Because I do that. I do tag, like, Nicola Coughlin, Luke Newton, Nicola. And I guess I've never seen that as the same as adding them. Because adding them is like, goes directly to them. Versus like, I mean, I guess they might like to look at their tags too. But to me, the tags, like, that's an intentional desire to look at something. Versus like, adding them is like, they didn't even ask to see it, and then now they see it. I don't know. Felker L said, I think it's okay to think her and Luke are cute together and would be amazing together. I would like to believe that. Tiffany said, yes, Tom Dea. Okay. Yeah. I don't think it ever overshadowed their careers, that people like them as a couple. Like, I still love their stuff wholly separate from each other. Like, they don't define each other. They're very cute together, but they don't define each other. And maybe the frustration that Nicola has is maybe she feels like people feel like she's defined by Luke or Luke's defined by her, and that's annoying. That would be annoying to me too if you've worked so hard and you're just relegated to like somebody's significant other. CRM 8291 said, I think if no fans, no fame. So curiosity is what generates jobs. Dee Dee said Netflix isn't helping either, posting them on billboards all over. I mean, yeah. It's true. Rena said, it's me. I'm people. I like the tea. I love you. I love how you... Rena, you crack me up all the time. But I also enjoy your lives. Sans the adjacents. Thanks, Rena. 4K NK said, I felt like Nick was just done. She's probably exhausted. I'm exhausted just watching. said I'd give up my privacy for money. I'm a sellout. Anne said, I felt her speech was about journalists and industry people, not necessarily fans. Okay, that's good to know, Anne, because I just didn't understand the context of things. And so sometimes I'm like, is that what she's saying, or are people injecting that into what she's saying? I just didn't know. Bev says, I think we think too much. I definitely was thinking way too much because I just don't like to hurt people. You know what I mean? That's never my intention. And so, of course, I'm going to overthink things in that sense. But then I'm like, but it irritates me because I'm like, I really don't think that's what's happening. I think that's kind of stuff is just being hoisted onto me as if that's what's happening. That's not what's happening. And I'm not saying anybody's necessarily saying I'm doing that. They might be saying other people are doing that. But even then, it's like, is that what even other people are doing? It's like, when is it proper and when is it improper? Like, I don't know. Bev says, you are always respectful. I really try, Bev. I genuinely try. Bev said, the bigger her presence, the more people will want from her. And that's why I'm trying to understand and also respect her, whatever her boundaries are. But I'm also I don't feel like I've crossed any boundaries. Genuinely. I mean, unless somebody points something out to me and then I'm like, oh, I've never thought about that, or I'll consider that. But I don't know. Everybody has different takes on this stuff. I mean, everybody's just trying to do what they think is right, I think, at the end of the day. Rena said, I live close to LA, Hollywood, and I thought it was part of the gig. Stop trying to open my eyes. LOL. Felker L said, lives like this don't affect them. This is a fun and respectful convo about a show and actors we love. That's what I feel like, Felker. Really, I genuinely feel this way. And also, even my posts. I mean, I don't think there's anything in my posts typically that's should be affecting anybody in a negative way. Bombshell Baby 22 said, I feel like we are assuming on what she actually meant too. I feel like that happens a lot. Sometimes I'm like, is that really what Nicola was saying? I mean, even the normalize not filming people in public, that was a very clear statement. But I think all this additional meaning behind the statement was added on top of it that I'm like, is that everything? Was she saying all of that extra stuff? Or was she just saying don't film people in public? That's she's she doesn't like that. I mean, I felt like that's the only clear thing that we knew for sure she was saying in that comment. But people added all these additional meanings behind it that I'm like, is she saying really all that? Or are we thinking she's saying all that? Just because she said one thing, does it mean all X, Y, and Z is connected to it? Or is that just something that people are assuming it means? I mean, it's the one thing that if I was Nicola, I would be exhausted with, if I was her, is people constantly telling other people what she's saying when maybe it's not what she's saying at all. I mean, I think it's because people are reading between the lines, but it's what if you're reading things that are not in the lines? What if it's not in the lines? What if it's what if we're making something way more serious than she's actually making it? Or does it feel that serious? I don't know. Even that day when people were like, she was so mad, and I was like, was she? Was that the only possible option in that comment? Or was she just setting a boundary and saying, if you actually care about what I feel, this is what I feel. Normalize not filming people in public. But did it have to be more than that? Did it have to be all the extra stuff that ended up happening? And I reacted that way myself. That's why some folks were like, I think you're overreacting to that statement. And I was like, I possibly am. At this time, I think I'm just reacting to the proper level based off of what I was trying to wrestle with. Bombshell Baby 22 said work or friendship. I felt like it was more pap tabloid interview blasting. Rose underscore Teresa 66 says it's a difficult one. Artists need attention to be relevant, but it can be intrusive. Yeah, 100%. And I guess sometimes I'm like, I try very hard not to cross the line of being intrusive. I mean, there was one post that I did that somebody definitely called me out on, which was like a post on Tumblr that I shared where that person was trying to analyze like her schedule or something, and that person was like, that's way intrusive, that's crossing the line. And then I realized, like, even though my intention was not that, and it really irritated me at first when the person called me out on it, the person was still right. It was like, okay, yeah, I may not have been the one that composed the analysis of it, but that person may not have thought like it was going to be shared in a larger audience. And sometimes, like, that's why I also like stopped posting things from the other platform, because when the drama went down a while back because of my subscription, it was so much unnecessary drama. And plus, I'm still trying to drop my subscription, but it's so hard to get it removed. TikTok makes it very difficult. So like, if anybody happens to know how I can get rid of it, please let me know. But the thing is, like, some people made a whole big drama about it, and now I got so lost in the sauce. I don't know why I brought that up. Something, blasted, I forgot what I was talking about. Intrusive. I don't know what I was saying. Y'all, this is like all over the place for me today, because I think I'm just like rethinking about like why I haven't done a live. Like it's not only because I've been busy at work. I think it's also been just like wanting to figure out like what do I think I'm allowed to talk about, really, without it getting all like too much for me. Zigzag underscore Elf says, hi, I'm at the airport. Oh, are you coming back from there? Like, are you coming, like, you're leaving or you're coming back? Rose underscore Teresa 66 says, without that level of attention, she wouldn't be getting the award. I mean, I think this is part of the frustration. I guess that would be part of the frustration for Nicola then, because of course she wants the attention for her work. She just doesn't want the attention to be because of her personal life. Like, and I get that. I do get that part. Like, of course she wants the attention. She's not saying she doesn't want attention, but she wants the attention that is about her work, not about her personal life. And yet at the same time, just because there's interest in her personal life doesn't have to take away automatically from her work. And I don't think it does, because I see how I view things with Tom Daya, and as much as I think Tom Daya is cute, like, I can definitely recognize Zendaya's work and Tom's work apart from their relationship, 100%, and give them the proper props. Felker L said, I felt like she was calling out the tabloids like DM. Oh, no, okay, now I remember what I was going to say about the other platform. I got lost in sauce. The reason I stopped posting things from that other platform was because somebody DM'd me and was like, people were upset that I had used their stuff without permission. And I was like, it's a public forum, so that's like regular. But I'm like, but you know what? I don't want the headache. And I didn't. So I like pulled everything that had things from that particular platform that I couldn't find on my own. Like, you know, if I could find the information on my own, then I would still make a post about it, because it's public information. Like, it's not like it was their own like source. They pulled it from other places themselves. So unless it was their own thought, you know what I mean? But so I stopped using anything from that particular platform, partly because I was like, it's not worth it for me. It's not worth the stress, and it's not, whatever. But then I do understand that even though it is public forum, sometimes people don't want their stuff to go further out than they intended. People sometimes just want their stuff to hit the level of attention that they thought they were going to get, right? It's like anything in the past where it's like people... I mean, Eden did something recently, right? Where she privated one of her videos because it was getting too much attention. Isa B, thank you for the gift. And so I get that. Like, it's like sometimes, like, I've done that too. I've privated videos where I felt like the speed of it was too fast. And when the speed of something gets too fast in views, then I know it's reaching a way larger audience that will sometimes lack the context of what that video is about, and it could get really squirrely very fast. So I'm not in pursuit of like the most views if it's gonna give me a headache. Like I'd rather like private that in a heartbeat than to have like just a whole lot of mess in the comment sections and people being unkind to each other or whatever it might be. So I'm like, so I get it sometimes. Like when I used to post things, I wanted people to, check out their pages, and I wanted to help promote them and whatever. But then it's that reality of like, oh, I thought that was a good thing, but I guess some people didn't want that. And so it's like, well, if they didn't think that was a good thing, then, I don't want to promote people who don't want to be promoted, and I don't want to promote people that, so I just stopped doing it. Karen T, thank you for the Daily Heart Me. Felker L said, I felt like she was calling out the tabloids, like, yeah, that one tabloid, yeah, in her speech, to be honest. I mean, possibly. I mean, she's been very upfront about them. Rose_Teresa66 said, I would think since the London photos interest has been reduced anyway. Bombshell Baby 22 said, the second we all quiet down, she had the audiobook drop, then all the awards. It's strange. Okay, so I mean, so again, like maybe it's like but I mean, maybe isn't that like a I don't know. Okay. Maybe I need to eat. I'm not making sense. And now I'm officially behind because I was talking too much. Cuz now there's 99 plus new messages. So I'm sorry that I'm so behind now. Buffy DaCosta said, I think it's not what fans are doing. I think it's the tabloids and stalking that's the issue. H. Manley said, I personally don't think she gives the fandoms too much thought. And that's what I'm hoping for. And I really do think so. Like, I do think it's the invasion of... Now, and it's so hard because it's intertwined, right? Part of the reason the paparazzis hound her is because there's a fan base that cares about what she does. And that's why, again, Eutonic had encouraged folks not to look at stuff. Not to click, not to give, because then it just gives more incentive to do that to her. Bev says, OMG, if she listens to you, she loves this. I'm sure you have a good vibe. Thanks, Bev. Isabi said, just go with what makes you comfortable. She didn't say it was affecting her mentally. Karen T said, don't read into it too much. 4K NK said, you are definitely overthinking, LOL. I mean, 100%. Like, I was definitely spiraling. Felker L said, she seems pretty grounded to me. She's clever and knows what she's doing. Isabi, she feels like we have to do better for the future. Bombshell Baby 22 said, yes, the tagging is wild. Michelle MAD said, I don't think you have done anything that I would feel is disrespectful. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate that. H. Manley said, I think she was just aggravated. Google didn't focus on her achievements first. Google. Wait, I don't know what that is, H. Manley. Google did what? Like, I mean, on the Google search? Is that what it is? She did somebody did say something about how she did a Google search. So that's probably what you're saying. Like, she did a Google search, and instead of the first things being about her accomplishments, it was all about her, like, rumors about her relationship. Okay. Falker Elf said, yes, come back. Zigzag underscore Elf said, tags are different to hashtags. Okay. Thank you, Zigzag. That's what I mean. I do hashtags. I don't do tags. I don't like at people. Karen T said, don't read too much into it. Felker L said, I feel like your lives are like, grab your wine, grab your friend, let's save a chat. Or let's have a chat, I think is what you meant. Rose underscore Teresa 66 said, I wouldn't worry too much. Your content is mainly supportive and she does need some chat to be relevant. Felker L said, wait, can we say get married and have babies already? Too soon. Rose underscore Teresa 66 says they help promote the idea of the two of them. And I mean, yes and no, right? Like in their minds, they promoted Pollen, right? Which is separate from Nicola. And I know that sometimes people merge the two, but Pollen is very separate, in my head at least, to Nicola. Michelle MAD said, yes, I think the billboards have refueled the shipping. Karen T said, absolutely, billboards too much. Zigzag underscore Elf said, I think her speech is about all of it, fans and journalists, the constant chatter. CC said, you are always so respectful, Phoebe. Thank you, CC. I appreciate that. JMO613 said, I took it as she meant, why are we as a society more interested in those three things than in Googling NC award, NC role, NC film, NC advocacy, etc.? You know what, too? I think that's another thing that probably Nicola does feel very heavy, because she notices, I'm sure she notices that when she posts things about, like, things that could be perceived to be about Luke or any other thing that's connected to a potential relationship, that people will pick up on that. But when she does do posts about her advocacy, it doesn't flood, it doesn't get grabbed and said, oh my word, she just posted about this fundraiser, or she just posted about, I mean, some people do, but it's like, it's not like, oh, she posted about this and gets the word out even more. It's some, you know, so there's like layers to her that she probably feels like is not getting acknowledged as much. Karen says, you are very respectful. Thank you. Bev says, her post and speech came out after the election results, made me happy again. That's good. Michelle MAD said, I think it's been the filming and Pat pictures. Oh my word. SMAR. Because I think I was like, I always broke it up and you told me it's just the whole thing at once. I was trying to remember. Smar31 said, hi. Hello. Rose underscore Teresa 66 says, if you don't want attention, don't pick up the award. That's the thing, though. I don't think she doesn't want attention. I just think that she wants specific attention. I don't think you go into... I don't think you go into the arts without wanting attention, but the attention you want is on your art. The things that you're doing, not necessarily on you personally. Bev says her speech was about the way women are treated. Yeah. I definitely want to hear that, because, I mean, I'm in my feels about that right now. Just that. I'm not going to get into it, but... I'm just sad. Zigzag underscore Elf said, in the speech, it looked like she had a whole mix of emotions, anger being one of them, and fair enough. Ooh, so there's a little fieriness in her voice when she does it. Rose underscore Teresa 66 says, it never bothered her until something was possibly revealed. I mean, possibly, you know, I think it's like, you know, we have that's the freedom we have. We have the freedom to change our minds when something changes or something comes into play. And maybe that's just what happened. It's just like something came into play and she just did not appreciate where things went. 406 Wildflower said, I do think she was referring to herself and all women in general. It was a women's award. Oh, Zigzag underscore Elf said, at airport heading home. Okay, be safe. Netflix, Felker Elf says, Netflix is certainly capitalizing on the Bridgerton ride lately. Yeah, Zigzag underscore Elf said, waiting for my flight home. Smart31 said, Phoebe, life has been so crazy lately. I'm so behind on social media. You and I both. Like, I mean, this live was about me trying to figure out what's been happening. Because I haven't done a live, and I really need to motivate myself to upload this live. For the person that asked me, like, why have you not done anything uploaded anything since October 23rd? And it's like, life. And also, nothing's been happening. Oh my word, I need to get some water. Rose_Teresa66 says, you don't need permission to discuss anything, but stop if you want to. 4KNK said, people form perceptions on their experiences. This live shows how we all heard this speech different. Yeah. I know. Actually, that's a great point. Sorry for the coughing. But that's a great point, 4KNK. People have completely different perceptions about what happened in the speech. And everybody's sharing, like, what they thought they heard. And, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, that's why I'm like, so many times something is placed on Nicola and said, Nicola's saying this or Nicola's saying that. And it's like, is that what Nicola's saying? Or is that our perception of what we think she's saying? And sometimes, I mean, obviously there's some, like, sometimes people can have off the wall, like, interpretations of something where you're like, does that match up with what she actually said? Or like, you know, but other times it's like literally it is based off of like how people hear particular things, and it is filtered through our own experiences. And that's where people tend to read between the lines. And those lines usually are determined by their own personal experiences of like, if I was in that situation, or if I knew this is what I would be thinking about this or that. And it might not be at all what she's saying. I'm not saying that people are wrong or right. I'm just saying, like, sometimes people say things like so definitively, like as if they had a conversation with her yesterday or something. You know, and it's like, you know, and even if you did, it's like, how many times have you been in conversations with someone and you thought you were on the same page and you were absolutely not on the same page? Tessa Playlist said, I don't think she was talking about all fans, just the Paps, journalists, and it stopped there. Bev says she stands up for women. It is her moral beauty. Michelle MAD said, do you think she professionally can't say whether she and Luke are not dating because of Netflix? No, I don't think that, I mean, I know that people say that there are things like where you sign off on things, but I don't think that's what's happening here. I mean, personally, of course, I can't ever say one thing definitively because I have no clue, but my knee-jerk reaction and my personal take is no, I don't think that's what's happening. But if somebody disagrees with me and says, yes, that's what's happening, like, I wouldn't have anything to counter that because literally we're all just assuming. And so my assumption is that's not what's happening. Rose_Teresa66 says, well, don't do a world tour and put your personal life front and center. We can ignore her if she likes. I mean, the world tour is her job. So, of course, she's going to do the world tour. And she didn't put her personal life in front and center. What she did was answer questions about her job. What we read into it was her natural interaction with Luke. But she wasn't necessarily, I mean, like, they never asked her questions about their personal lives. All those questions about, like, were work related, how they worked together. Like, all the stories that they shared was about Bridgerton. It's just that we saw the chemistry and we saw how they interacted. That's what we were reacting to. But, like, literally what you're saying that she shouldn't have done literally was just her job. Like, doing that world tour and answering those questions, that was their job. It's just that we also saw their natural connection, but they weren't talking about each other in that way per se. Even when they were talking about flowery, like, compliments with each other, it was still in the context of the show. You know, it was never like, I mean, there might be remnants of things where it was about personal stuff, but the majority of the stuff was regular professional conversations. But they just had such insane chemistry and all that stuff. I think people read a lot to it, you know. Tessa Playlist said particular people that film take pics of non-work times. Kim Walton said, I thought she meant while being interviewed that some of the journalists crossed lines questioned. Michelle MAD said, I don't think the world tour was all PR, but I do know why she doesn't put the speculation to rest. Oh, but I don't know why she doesn't put the speculation to rest. I mean, the closest guess I have to that, Michelle, is an interview she had with her and Luke. And she said that sometimes the reason she doesn't address things is because people will choose to believe what they want anyway. That no matter if you say anything, people just don't believe what they don't want to believe. Bev said Luke has limited presence on social media. His silence speaks volumes. And I said to folks all the time that silence can be misinterpreted or misunderstood, but it can never be misquoted. And so, like, to me, like, silence may speak volumes, but whether or not it's what it's actually being said with that silence may be incorrect. Like, it could be misinterpreted or misunderstood, but it can never be misquoted. And I think that's why people tend to be quiet. So people don't have a quote. So people can't twist their words. Because if once they finally are ready to say something, nobody could ever say, well, you said something else. Because they didn't. They didn't say anything at all. Which, again, people can interpret it to mean something, but it doesn't mean that people's interpretation of that silence is correct. Cindy said Nicola should follow Luke's way of hiding in plain sight. You know, Nicola, I think sometimes it's harder for Nicola just because of her height. He's more like, Luke's features are more like general, where it's like there's other people that's his height, his hair color, and he likes to wear those probably shades and hat or something. It's like he's easier to like be incognito for him than I think it is for Nicola. But yeah, she could always be like, teach me your ways. Rose _ Teresa 66. She did want it when she thought she can control, rather human, really. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think people are always okay with something as long as they think they're in control of the situation. But I mean, you're right. It's a very human thing to suddenly not want it when you're no longer in control of something, because that becomes scary. When she thought like it was going to be just like it used to be, I think she was fine with it. When she realized, oh my word, this is out of control. That's scary. That is scary. And I can understand her trying to put a kibosh to something that may feel scary for her. And I don't know if it does feel scary for her, because that's my own projection. I'm not saying that it feels scary for her, because I don't know. But I'm saying, like, if that is, you know, so that was my own projection. Because I think whenever people feel out of control, there is a little trepidation. Or not out of control, but like they don't have control of the situation. There is that trepidation. Cindy said tomorrow is the fairy drop. People keep saying that to me, so I'm excited, because I did not even know about that. Kim Walton said the audiobook isn't up to her when it comes out. That would be the author, right? Awards as well. Yes, like she doesn't have that power to choose those things. Like, yeah, it's not her. Rose _ Teresa 66 said never Google search your name if famous. Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to see certain things, probably not. I think it is a good thing for people to Google search your name in general. Regular folks, any folks, I think it's good for us to Google search our name just to see what our digital footprint is. Because sometimes you might discover that there's things there you did not realize and you want to get cleaned up. Like, I don't know what, like, sometimes there's those free websites that have your address and your phone number and all those stuff, and you didn't know that people can just look up your information and get that information for free. Because usually, like, people sell your information, but like there are sites that do it, just collect all that information and put it out for free. And if you don't want people knowing where you live or what your phone number is, then get that cleaned up and get them to remove it. Kim Walton says she mentioned in her speech that she Googled partner, age, and dress size. Oh my word. Because she was just curious? Okay, now I'm really interested in what her speech said, because that's partner, age, and dress size? Okay, that's, wow. Oh, okay. Karen T said, Google search, age, dress size, relationships came up. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, thank goodness. I thought she said partner age. Like, I'm like, it's so... But the age was with a comma. So it was, the partner was separate from the age. Okay. Because I was like, oh, so she was looking up all the conversation about that. Cindy said, by the way, Nicola is a size 8 in US size. I mean... Like, yeah, like I think she had a whole conversation about how wild it was that people have these conversations about her size when literally she is actually yeah, it's wild. I mean, it tells you a lot about how media like has totally changed like what the perception of an average size woman would be, or I don't know, or I don't even know if that she's average. I don't know. I don't even like to talk about it in general. That's her whole point. Like to not talk about that kind of stuff. Rose _ Teresa 66 says Netflix definitely used their friendship to promote show, and it worked. Yeah, I mean, again, it's like they're just capturing what's happening in front of them. But I'm sure they were like, oh, this works because people are loving it. But, like, it takes work to put together a world tour. Like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Because we didn't know that they were going to have that much chemistry, did we? Like, it just continued to grow as the world tour went on. So, I don't know when Netflix started realizing, oh wow, they really have good chemistry. Because weren't all those dates already predetermined for a while back? It's not like they added tour dates for it, right? I don't know. Bev says she wants to focus on her work. Kim Walton said, in my opinion, she was upset that it wasn't about her work. People were interested in her relationship. Rose _ Teresa 66 says Nick is fab, but don't post songs publicly, etc. if you don't want people to discuss why. I mean, I don't know if she is having problems with people wondering about. This is why I'm saying I feel like it's heavy projection people are having around, like, oh, she feels this way about this or that. I don't know if she really does. Like, the reality is, like Nicola has talked about in the past, those are the kind of things she would have done. Now, mind you, it's definitely different on the receiving end now. And maybe she's rethinking about her own actions back when she was just a fan as well of people. But, like, I think she doesn't think, I don't know what she thinks or feels. I mean, I just don't. But I don't know if I've heard her speak negatively about that stuff. That's what I'm saying when I feel like people add stuff to what they think she's upset about. If she's even upset. Like, I mean, again, it's like, I don't know. I don't even know. That's why I'm like, I'm not going to try to overthink things, because most of my overthinking comes from not Nicola herself, but what people keep telling me that Nicola feels. And I'm like, how do y'all know that? And it's like, it's because of this quote or that quote. And it's like, but I read that quote and I don't get the same, I don't hear all the extra stuff. So, I don't know. Kim Walton said people don't talk about what size a guy is. Yeah. I mean, different, or if they do, they talk about it differently. Isabel said she cursed a few times. Oh, really? So she was really feeling stuff. Ella Chada said felt the speech was about how women are treated in the media. Kim Walton said we don't know if it bothered or not. She may just have had enough of the inappropriate behavior. Yeah. Rose _ Teresa 66. Fortunately, an election was a bit of a distraction. I don't know if it was fortunate for me, but yeah. Bev said communication and understanding. Rose underscore Teresa 66. So true about the page. Kim Walton said, in my opinion, she sounded more upset, emotional than angry. I think she was frustrated with Google stuff. Interesting. I'm now very intrigued about this Google. Sue said, I wish people would say what they mean and we don't have to speculate. It's getting too much. Well, the hard part about it, Sue, is like, very few things are just straight communication, right? Like, in the sense of like, I could be saying, I'm saying what I'm saying here right now with y'all's, right? And depending on where a person is at, they could hear like one word stronger than another word and perceive that I'm saying something that I might not be saying. I found this to be the case. Like whenever I've done a post and I say something and then I get a comment that feels so left field to me, like how did this person arrive to this conclusion based off of the video that I did, is that reminder to me that even when I think I'm being clear about my intentions and my thoughts, that there are people who will still hear it differently because it's getting filtered through their own experiences and expectations and thoughts and all of this stuff. So it's like, that's why it's like any regular relationship or friendship or whatever we have with people, we're constantly trying to communicate, because miscommunication is ripe because everybody kind of assumes that they understand what the other person is saying, so they never ask for clarification, and then it turns out there's this whole big miscommunication that ended up happening because people were thinking that people were saying things that they weren't saying. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, miscommunication is up there. So sometimes people are thinking that they're saying what they mean, and people are still not picking up what they're putting down. Rose underscore Teresa 66 says she did keep saying she loved Luke, bound to be misinterpreted. I mean, yes and no, right? I think it's still a choice, because there's people who made the choice not to interpret it any other way, but that she just loved Luke, which is not necessarily romantic. It's not necessarily a romantic statement in and of itself, right? There's a lot of people I love and I say I love. That doesn't have to be romantic. So I still do think it's a choice. It didn't have to be misinterpreted. And I don't know if we even misinterpreted it. You know what I mean? But I think it's a choice, because if it wasn't a choice, then everybody would have heard it the same way. And I know that we all didn't, because there's some folks that are like, didn't read into that the same way that other folks did. You know what I mean? So I do still think it's a choice. Michelle MAD said, I think they really played into the chemistry part more than they really needed to be said. More than really needed to be said. Yeah, that's the thing though. I mean, that's the thing, Michelle, and this is where I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, I always say I could be wrong because I could. I've always felt that that's just their natural chemistry. And, let me make that correction. I think their chemistry grew as the world tour went along. I don't think that was their original chemistry, but it became that way eventually. Well, actually, no, even their first one was pretty full of chemistry. But what I'm saying is, like, I don't think they thought it was that wild to engage with each other the way that they did. I think they realized after a while that people did think that way. But, you know, and the reason I think that this is just, it wasn't necessarily, like, not just who they were in the way they engaged, was because so many of the journalists said that they were, they were the same whether or not they were like behind the scenes, like the way they engaged with each other were the same. You know what I mean? So if it wasn't their natural chemistry, it would stop when the cameras were rolling, right? But like most of the journalists that did speak about their behind the scenes would say, like, that's how they were. That's just how they were. Rose _ Teresa 66 says, have sympathy but hard putting the genie back in the bottle. I mean, it's true. I mean, it's hard because she does really just genuinely, like all of us, have no control what other people do. I mean, so yeah, once, like, you can't put spilled milk back in the jar, I guess. I don't know. But, so yeah, it is hard. And probably can never put it back in the bottle. Because that would require 100% cooperation from all folks to engage in particular ways. And we don't even know what that term of engagement is really fully. Kim Walton said, I love that Luke liked her post today. It showed support in my opinion. What was her post? What post did she put today? Rose _ Teresa 66 says, agree regarding Google search if not a celebrity. 4KNK said, no, she didn't Google that. She Googled her name. Oh, Miss M said she entered Nicola Coughlin and those came up. Oh, interesting. Oh, like she typed it up and then like the most searched comes up, like how they have it, like in that one things where they pull off the side, like when it just pre-populates with what. I should put that and see what comes up. No, just kidding. Not for Nicola, but for myself. Nothing would. Why would anything pop up? I'm silly. Ella Chada says she said that when she Googled herself, that's what was the top search. Okay. Kim Walton said those were the first three that popped up, maybe kept up. Hello, Linnell. Rose _ Teresa 66 says her people will know most of what is put out about her or they're not doing their job. Kim Walton says she mentions that in interviews that she was asked inappropriate questions her size / relationship. CRM8291 said, do we think the behind the scenes and videos from some workers push the narrative? And again, why do it all? Did it push a narrative? Yeah, I mean, they definitely added to the narrative, right? I do strongly believe, though I can't definitively say if it's true, obviously, but I do believe that based off of actions and words by cast and crew and everybody in between, that there was a hope and a desire for them to be together. But they're just like regular folks like ourselves, like just watching it. And so, I mean, I think they were just posting what they felt. And it just happened to be in line with what the fandom was feeling. But I don't think they were trying to like cause a stir. Maybe? I don't know though, because I don't know them. But I think they were just posting what felt true to them as people and what they witnessed between the two of them. Ella Chada said, exactly, we don't know her. We don't know how she truly feels. 4KNK said, Eric Ockvist isn't helping our delusion. Her makeup lady from Bridgerton. Rose _ Teresa 66. Yeah, that point is true. Goes back to your statement. We know nothing. Rena said, they talk about men's height all the time. That is true. They do. They do. Bev said, yep, Tom Cruise. Kathleen said she also was speaking to a group of successful women as a Woman of the Year honoree. And may have been singing to the choir about how women are treated, using herself as an example. Rose _ Teresa 66 says, doesn't have to be romantic, but was personal, and she brought it up. Rena said, I'm in the minority, but now I lean towards it was PR. Yes, there were chemistry, but they overdid it. Yeah, I mean, it's so hard, Rena, to me, because it's like, Of course it was PR. That was their job. Like, I guess to me, like, folks always say PR like it's a bad thing. And I'm not saying you're saying that PR is a bad thing, but I'm just saying, like, PR is literally their job. And so it's like, of course, yes, it was PR. It's just the question of, was it only PR? And I don't think it was ever only PR. I think that's literally just their chemistry. And when you said they overdid it, it's like, that's the thing. I don't know if they realized they were overdoing anything. I think they were just, like, living. And it's after 5 years of friendship, like, there's just a comfort level that sometimes happens, especially in the field of work that they're in. And so what felt like a lot to us probably felt like just regular for them. And then I think they understood. They didn't understand fully until maybe even when the season was, when everything was finally done and all of the episodes were released. I think they started to get an inkling after the first part was released, but I don't think they fully got how much people were freaking out over them until maybe, I don't know, probably after the part 1 release. I don't know. But that's the only thing. I'm like, I don't know if they ever felt like they were overdoing it. I just think they were just living. Thank you, not Mary, not Mary, for the gifts. Kim Walton said relationship. Rena said, I have chemistry with my husband. I turn it on when we are on a date and turn it off when visiting my parents. I mean, okay. Actually, that's a good point. Because I will say that for Netflix, they toned it down a lot, right? That's why I said that the Galway video was like the most tame video I'd ever seen. And that's when I felt like, yeah, they knew how to pull it back, because that was a very pulled back version. Or it might have been an editing choice to make it look so pulled back. Because that Galway video was like the first time that I'm like, I get coworker vibes from this. I get friend vibes from this. It was like when their chemistry was the most showing up the most was during like radio spots where they forget that the camera's on them, or just like, you know, it's just little things that they would do, you know. So it's like, but you're right, they could pull it back, because I remember the official Netflix one, you know, that I'm like, oh, that really gives friend vibes. Bombshell Baby 22 said they got the chemistry back during World Tour. Yeah. Rena said that chemistry can be turned on and off, and they most definitely played into it. Ashley_B said, so we're not all crazy, right? We saw what we saw. I think we saw what we saw. I mean, I don't think we were confused about that. It was just whether or not, like, no, well, that short answer is no, I don't. We saw what we saw. Kim Walton said, we have all been speculating about her relationship, but we don't really know them. Never confirmed 100%. Rose_Teresa66 says she posted photos of the award. Oh, yay. Kim Walton said her photos from the event. Ashley_B said, like, I am so confused because she is on record saying that she thinks the shipping is cute, but now she doesn't like it. You can't have it both ways. I mean, I think that she liked it when she thought it was cute. You know, it's kind of like, it's one thing. It's like when maybe it was cute until it wasn't cute. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I don't know how to describe what a good example is. But there's things where I might like something. Okay, how about an overplayed song? Right? Like sometimes, like, I may like a song and I may even want it to be played over and over and over again for me. And then sometimes it just gets overplayed and suddenly I can't stand the song anymore. And it's not that I didn't like it before. It's just I don't like it now because it got too played out. And like the thing that I liked about it is no longer there. And so I feel like, I don't know if that's a bad analogy, Ashley_B, but I think it does describe where she may have thought it was cute at one point because it was, until it became overplayed, and then it wasn't. You know what I mean? But the thing is, I don't even know if she's saying she doesn't like shipping anymore. I really don't. I think that's the evaluation that some people have made. And obviously, if people are correct in their assumptions that she's potentially in a relationship, of course you don't want to be shipped with someone else when you're in a current relationship, if that is the case, which I don't know. I mean, that's another possibility. Kim Walton said she spoke about misogyny, inappropriate questions from journalists. Sue said maybe she just likes the pollen edits only because that is showcasing her talent. I'm confused, LOL. I mean, Sue possibly, right? Because remember, the person who brought up the Nicola edits was Luke, when he was talking about birds of a feather, right? And then, and Nicola's response was like, "Oh, there are?" That was her response. "Oh, there are?" Like, she was the one who had been giving him pollen edits. And so the fact that she was like surprised, and the thing is, it's hard for me to believe she was surprised, but only because I feel like she's way more in social media than he is. But that was her. But I'm taking her at face value at that moment when he brought up birds of a feather and said, "Oh, we, like, there are edits about that," or something like that. And she's like, "There are?" So I don't know if that was tongue in cheek or she really was surprised. Kathy said, easy to stop everything, just like she did about her body and age, but she didn't about Elle friendship. Felker, I mean, this is true, right? She has picked and she has chosen which things she will put her like final word on. So I mean, I agree with that. Felker L said, what's weird is fans started making up their own narratives instead of just admiring from afar. I mean, one of the things I used to say to folks is people will always fill up the silence. Like, that it's just the way people work, wrong or right. It's like, if people don't know the answer to something, they will fill in the blanks, even if the way they're filling in the blanks is wholeheartedly incorrect. And that's why, like, whenever like a decision is made at like work or whatever, or just like hypothetically, right, and nobody tells you the reasoning behind a decision, like, people will just guess, typically. And usually it's not, if they don't like the decision, the reasoning behind it may not be flattering. Angela06 said Galway film was so sad. Kim Walton said, I think during promo tour they were being their natural selves. I think she thought it was sweet, and she even said it meant they did the job well on the show. Rena said, that's my question. Does she not like Nicola shipping or Nicola? I don't know how to say that. I mean, I know Nicola. I say Nicola, and I know other people say Nicola. So then I'm like, is this Nicola? Shipping or both? The answer is I don't know. I don't even know if she doesn't like shipping at all of anything. Tanisha said, I think she's allowed to get tired of shipping. We can't expect her to want it to happen for months. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, right, it's sometimes something's just fun because you didn't think it was going to last forever, you know? And then it's like, oh, okay, we're still doing this? I mean, sometimes that's how people feel. Ella Chada said, it's the inappropriate question she received she was talking about in her speech, not the shipping. 1987_Christy said, I thought she meant that she wanted people to see more beyond partner and appearance. Kathleen said, I think maybe she doesn't like the shipping when it's taken too far. Kathy said she keeps playing the game, and now she's saying, I don't want to play anymore. Still love her, though. I mean, kind of, that makes sense, though, right, Kathy? It's like, it's in a way of, like, just because somebody gave you consent one time doesn't mean, like, it's a perpetual consent forever. Like, Just because I said yes to something one time doesn't mean I want to say yes to it forever. And I don't want somebody to think that just because I said yes one time that the expectation is I should want it every single time. Isabel said she also said people want me to marry Luke in her Time 100 interview. She didn't have to say that. No, she didn't. I mean, like, there's nothing that anybody ever has to say. Rena said, I think she speaks in code sometimes and she should just be direct, like the filming post. What was the filming post? What do you mean? What was the filming post, Rena? I do think, I mean, here's the thing. I think she's expressed in the past that is the way she has, that she and Luke have done stuff in the past too. And I think that's why people read into that, because she had an interview where she talked about, like, sometimes they do post things as a wink wink, you know. And so then people are like, oh, well, maybe this is a wink wink or that's a wink wink because that option was put out in an interview, right? Again, not to say that everything that people assume was like a wink wink was a wink wink, you know. Michelle MAD said, but then that brings up, why not just say they are not dating? You know, who knows? I don't think there's ever going to be a good enough answer for that question, because I think, and because I really just genuinely don't know. Felker L said, it does seem at times she drops breadcrumbs on social media, or does she? Who knows? I mean, it's hard to know, right? Like, some people are like, y'all are reading into something, and probably at times, but other times, you know, there might be some truth to it, but who knows? That's the thing. I think that's why I'm like, people need to just understand when it's speculation and when it's like, I think it only becomes an issue when people are like so like gung-ho that they know A through Z or whatever about a situation. Like, when people are like, I definitively know this, and I'm like, how do you definitively know that? Like, there are things that we can definitively know because she has said something about it. But like, when people say like they know, like whenever people make comments about knowing certain aspects of her potential relationship with Jake, like when they talk about like details of potential interactions with them, I'm like, how do you know that kind of stuff? Like, as a fan base, we should not know certain things. Like, we should not know their dating habits. We should not know where they're going or what they're doing or how often they're spending time with each other, or like, that's like intrusive, like heavy. But the thing is, it's like, how do people know? And the reality is, people probably don't know, and they're just assuming things, and they're saying that this is happening, and it's like, and I would rather they be assuming things and talking like they know than actually fully knowing, because if you're actually fully knowing that this is happening, then it's like, really, you're like invading people's like personal private lives, you know. That's too much for me. That's too much. And I think that's hopefully that's too much for the majority of fan base. Rose_Teresa66 says, hasn't the shipping been reduced since the London photos? I think it has. I think a lot of folks took a step back from doing it publicly. You know, yeah, I do think it has been reduced. I think it's a valid thing to still ship. I mean, I still ship. I'm still on the ship. I'm still on the Lido deck. I think like the struggle bus that you witnessed me having this evening was just trying to figure out like what's the right level, what feels right for me, to feel like I'm still being respectful. But at the same time, I just think, I'm like, am I really doing this for Nicola, or is this me trying to appease fan bases that are telling me that this is what Nicola thinks, and I don't know that that's actually what Nicola thinks. You know, I don't know. Kim Walton says she loves Paul and shipping, not sure about other stuff. She's also entitled to change her mind like anyone else. Rose_Teresa66 said, once she said yes, you lose control. Why? Why does that have to be? Like, why? Tanisha said 2 things can be true. She could have shut down rumors a while ago. She can also be tired of it all. 100%. Very true, Tanisha. I'm gonna cough again. I'm sorry. Rena said normalize not filming strangers. Kathy said yes, she's doing an audiobook next about basically the exact same shipping theme. Come on now, stop. I mean, I don't know how she got that particular audiobook. I don't know the background of it. I mean, I did think that the theme of it was cute and ironic, but I don't know if there's anything extra to it. I have no idea. Kim Walton says she has several friends. She has said several times that they are friends. Rena said, how do we know it was even about her video? I think it just, again, we don't know definitively, Rena, right? It's just, I think we all read it that way because it happened at that, right, like, that was gaining traction. That video was gaining traction right at that moment. But someone else had said that very early on in the process, like, how did we even know it had anything to do with that video? And the reality is nobody knows if it definitively. At least the person who took the video very much felt so and felt very bad, right? But I guess we never know. I mean, but I guess people just assumed because it fit the timeline of when everything was going down. Rena said, when I first read that, I didn't think she was talking about herself. Like, who's the stranger? LOL. Yeah. Oh my word, you reminded me. Oh, who? It was Poker Kitten, I think, that kept saying, who's the stranger? And I was like, I thought she was the stranger. But see, yeah, I remember when I was doing that live, like, that happened while I was doing the live. So I never saw it myself, and people were freaking out like in a playful way about the fact that I was so far behind in my chats that I didn't even realize that, like, an hour later is when I found out, like, she posted that or something. I don't know if it was an hour, but it was a while after people were like, please just scroll down and read our stuff. But yeah, so I didn't even get a chance to really make an opinion of my own on it, because I just heard people's opinions about it. But I wonder what I would have felt if I had read it on my own without other people's opinions on how to read it. Dee Dee says she also said in Time Magazine she loves Luke and she's had no other relationship in the world. And then it stops there. Felker L said, still too soon to say put a ring on it and have the babies. Rose _ Teresa 66 says because the media are relentless. I mean, the media doesn't even necessarily ask for permission, to be honest. So I don't know if it's the yes that made her lose control. That, I think that's the yes is the reason I read the fans into that, is because the fans are the ones that go back to that statement and just say all the time, like, that's why. But I feel like the media typically doesn't even care about that permission piece. I could be wrong though. Felker L says she got it because her agent is shipping her and Luke too. Kathy said, one thing I know is that Luke is a true gentleman. Just stays quiet, minds his business. Love him. Kim Walton says she's done a ton of audiobooks and I'm sure those go to her agent and she may have thought perfect for her. Yeah, she's like, perfect. This will work. Anyways, y'alls, thank y'alls for spending time with me and letting me know what's been up since I've missed well, not too much actually, but like it was still a good conversation, and I'll try to hopefully see the trailer or whatever y'all were talking about for the Magic Faraway Tree. Yeah. Rose _ Teresa 66 says she was happy with the Luke ship as arguably work. Not the Nicola ship, I think. Possibly, you know. I mean, because that's one is work, one is personal, so or potentially personal. Karen said, "Nice to see you." Thanks, Karen. And Felker L said, "Always a great live." Thank you. Michelle MAD said, "Great live. I missed these." Thanks, Michelle. Thanks for giving me y'all something to discuss. You know, because I don't want to waste your time if there wasn't anything to discuss. Sue says, "Thanks for this." CRM 8291 said, "Great live." Thank you. Appreciate y'all. Bye.